Our problems. Okay. Umone unongotsi masepanyana. Ke mo arabile go Twitter we bone. Eh? I be like you want to somebody else. Got amfano. No, got amfano with the project. That time why izure. I never done an Pumanang wheel that I look razak. I'm exposed. Eh, eh, eh. Yeah, ke one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Principal, are we winning? We're not winning. Okay. Let's get a new laptop. If the problem is the laptop, let's email it to the one that was working earlier on, so that we don't take much of our time. Okay. Arubona, arina nako. What's wrong? No. They've transferred on a document. Colleagues, let's start. Let's allow the, let's settle down regional manager or acting regional manager. Saying the principal of Goldfields was calling you regional manager. I had to remind him you are acting. He has forgotten because you've been acting for too long. So let's just settle down. We'll give the Free State CET College chairperson. He will take us through, and then after that we'll give to the principal. The battery is flat here. We don't. That's not how we submit apologies. We've got an agreed, standardized way of submitting our apologies, and the DDG knows. So she did not submit an apology. Even if maybe you called her during that.
Honorable Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee and the honorable members of your committee, colleagues in government and management of the college, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. In African folklore, there's always a belief that when an event happens and it rains, it's a good omen for the village. So, Honorable Chairperson, when we met your committee for the first time as a college, it rained. And for us as all Africans, when it rains, it makes us think of a harvest. And I'm quite happy that having listened to your engagements earlier, our college is going to benefit from your very good ideas that will fertilize our deliberations. And at some point, we will harvest from those very good ideas. I intend to be brief because somebody who should say a lot more than I'll be saying is the principal. But we are a fledgling institution, and that's why the notion of harvest is very important. We were only established in 2015. Community colleges as an institutional form of education and training will only be celebrating 10 years. I believe on the 1st of April. And as an institution, I think our principal agent, which is the Department of Higher Education and Training, sees us as key contributors to three very important priorities of the government of national unity. Those priorities being contributing to the achievement of an inclusive economy, eradicating poverty, and lastly, creating an ethical and a capable state. So we align ourselves with those priorities. That drives the work of the Department of Higher Education and Training. Our head office is based in Bloemfontein, and we have learning sites that are established in all towns in the province. From where we sit, our college is probably the only or one of the few PSET institutions that has service delivery sites in all towns, municipalities, and districts. I'm sure you know that the previous Minister of Higher Education and Training had a vision of establishing a community college in each and every district. I would imagine that massification of community education and training colleges, that vision remains. We are constituted in line with the Continuing Education and Training Act of 2006, and our council plays an oversight role to the college. We have a range of committees that have been established that are functional and accountable to the college council, including the finance committee, the planning committee, the partnership committee, the HR committee, or the committee on conditions of service, as well as others. To date, we have approved 29 finance policies and other institutional policies assisting to promote good and corporate governance in the college. We have approved the strategic plans, annual performance plans, and the budget. We would like to believe that we are stable with sound financial management, labor peace, and since I've worked with the college at least in almost 5 years now, we have never really experienced any student unrest of any kind. But I must add that we do have challenges. We do have concerns that have been raised by students from time to time, which we do our best to try and address working with management. Because we are a fledgling institution, as I indicated, of all the higher education institutions, we are probably the youngest in terms of age. I've just indicated we'll only be celebrating our 10th year on the 1st of April. We really have a plethora of challenges that can be attributed to the fact that we are a very young institution. Some of these challenges include limited staffing. By the way, most of our lecturers still need to be developed and their qualifications improved. We would like to believe our budget is limited and our resources are equally limited. And there's no organogram at this stage. We've been wrestling with the Department of Higher Education and Training to ensure that we have a proper organogram that meets the needs and challenges of community education and training. We have no dedicated infrastructure. At the moment, we are only building in Ritz. We are building an agricultural hub in Ritz. It's probably 70–80% complete. We've just acquired land in Mangaung to build a new community learning center. But as for the rest, we really operate in schools. And that creates a serious problem in terms of our institutional identity. Because people say you want us to come to community colleges linked to the higher education, but you're actually taking us in primary schools. So it creates a serious image conflict, so to speak. We have limited time for teaching and learning, and that is primarily because we are sharing premises with other schools. But generally, I think we tried our best to promote good governance at the college, witnessed by the 2023 clean audit, And I will then hand over to the principal to elaborate further on the various programs. Principal?
Thank you very much, Principal. I don't think we have aircon here, Principal. I see you are trying to create your own aircon.
Good afternoon, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, honorable members of the Portfolio Committee, senior managers of the department, protocol observed. I'll be making a presentation on behalf of the Free State CET College as the college principal. The presentation outline will adhere to the brief that was provided to us, which include the state of readiness, student registration and enrollment, state of governance, post-provisioning norms, academic performance, dropout rates, overview of the college finances, partnership, fiscal infrastructure, the certification backlog, and college successes and challenges. As the chairperson of council has highlighted, our college was established by the minister in 2015 through the Continuing Education and Training Act. The head office is located at 86 Kellner Street, Spitzkop Building, Westin in Bloemfontein. The college absorbed the former public adult learning centers in the Free State province in 2015. And these centers are now called community learning centers and satellite learning centers. And this serves as our service delivery point. We have 15 community learning centers and 171 satellite learning centers, which are spread in all towns in the Free State province. And the distribution of the centers and the community learning centers are indicated in the table that I've just highlighted. 167 centers are hosted by schools due to lack of infrastructure for CET colleges and can only operate in the afternoon. 13 centers have standalone, meaning they have their own buildings, and 6 centers operate within the Department of Correctional Services. The mission of the college, which is to widen participation and access to community education, reskilling training, and entrepreneurship, and providing second chance learning opportunities, is achieved through these centers. They cater for the education needs of the Free Staters through the following programs: adult education and training, sub-levels 1 to 3, general education and training certificate, which is offered at NQF level 1, known as GETC ABET qualification, the senior certificate, occupational qualifications, and also non-formal programs. As the Free State CET College, we also try to cater for all the citizens. As such, we have 3 centers that provide education to persons with disability. The centers are located as follows. We have 2 in Mangaung Metro, Ruterang, Mangaung, and Lidibogo in in Mangaung, in Bloemfontein. And in Thabo Mofusanyane district, we have Zakhele Ikusasa in Qwaqwa. So all these centers take, cater for different disabilities such as partially blind, partially deaf, blind, and also the physically and mentally challenged students. With regard to state of readiness for 2025 academic year, our college held center managers meetings last year from 26 to 6 December to prepare for the 2025 academic year. It was in these meetings where the students' enrollment target for each of the centers were allocated. And the college, in collaboration with the CET sub-regional office, conducted readiness check from the 15th of January, and we want to report that teaching and learning is taking place in all our centers. We also made copies of the DHET registration forms to ensure that all centers have copies. Obviously, because not all our centers have resources because of limited budget. Further than that, we conducted a training workshops for the 15 community learning center managers in January. The intention was to really improve performance, effectiveness and functionality of centers. Because we also learning from the best practices in other colleges, we invited a center manager from the Osborne in Eastern Cape to share the best practice, especially the implementation of the non-formal programs. The team of 15 center managers and management, as part of exposing centers to the work done by their colleagues, and also as part of monitoring of the reopening of centers, visited 2 community learning centers. And one of them is Engie Noord Community Learning Center on the 29th. So the picture that you are seeing are us in the classroom with the centers, and teaching and learning was taking place for the IET level 4 class. On my left is the center manager also seeing the garden, which was done by the center. Our registration started on the 15th of January, and in order to ensure that we reach the free status, we also read our script on Lesedi FM, encouraging our students to register throughout the whole province. With regard to registration and enrollment of our students, our target for 2025 is 9,909, and our current enrollment is 16,082. And in all the programs, we have actually overachieved the target. For example, IET level 1 to 4, our target was 4,102, and we have achieved 6,344. So overall, the college has already overachieved the target by 6,173, and the registration will continue in the second semester. With regard to program qualification mix, in addition to the academic programs that I have highlighted earlier in my overview, we also offer non-formal programs, such as K53, where we teach our students, learners, so that they don't have to pay huge amount in driving schools. They also do programs such as floor arrangement, GBV, cell phone repairs, and sewing. In terms of occupational programs that will be offered this year, we will be doing welding, bricklaying, tire, community house builder, and all the programs that I have listed in my presentation. The student support service. We really, despite limited resources, we try to provide support to our students, and therefore we have established Student and Community Support Services Forum, which was established 2 years ago, and it's functional. The 15 community learning centers have established a committee at the center level, And the last meeting of the Student Communities and Support Services was on the 28th of February, and thereafter it will be quarterly. We are also assisted by Higher Health, where it deployed staff to our centers, including the social worker at NG Noord. The social worker provides the necessary support to students and even our staff members. And Higher Health is also able to provide nurses per invitation to service our students. As management, we also conduct state of readiness to the following centers. So we visited, we always try to cover all districts, 3 centers in Fezile Davi, 1 in Lijole Puswa, 2 in Mangaung, and 2 in Tabumfuzanyani. And this is also just a picture of the principal in a classroom. With regard to the college state of the governance at our college, the Free State CET College has a fully functional council with 14 members. We have 2 vacancies, 1 donor and the 1 ministerial appointee. The college council has the following subcommittees: finance, audit and risk, conditions of service planning, executive committee, and partnership and liaison committee. In addition to this committee, our council has a functional academic board and student representative council. And these committees are meeting once per quarter. Progress on the implementation of post-provision norms. We also want to report that with regard to CET colleges, there is no approved post-provisioning norms for CET colleges. The current college staff is as follows. In addition to the principal, we have 3 deputy principals and 8 support staff, 1 council appointee who's a project manager, and we have general assistants, 3 base SCLC and 1 head office, and we also have interns. The above 13 staff members at head office are responsible for the management and administration of 186 centers throughout the whole province, with a number of 889 academic staff. We have also just shows the information through a graph just to indicate the abnormality of the staffing conditions that we are facing in CET colleges. You can see that the number of interns in terms of percentage is 84, while the permanent staff constitutes 16%. And when you compare the number of permanent staff to the centers, they should be saving 889. It's also an abnormal situation. So in terms of reaching the 186 centers and 889 employees. Now, with regard to the academic staff, we also have numbers of the academic staff per district and the number of center managers. We also want to report that after the implementation of standardization of pay and benefits, 131 academic staff are working for 3 hours out of this 756. And the rest are working for only 5 hours. And this affects the hours that should be spent for teaching and learning and providing tuition, because there are limitations in terms of the number of working hours. We also have acting center managers. Since we migrated to the Department of Higher Education and Training in 2015, the department has not been advertising center managers' positions. And this has really created a challenge for our centers. To date, the college has 48 vacancies. 40 have been appointed through a fair process of recruitment and selection, and 8 is in a process of being advertised. However, the delegation to appoint is not with us, it's with the department. Therefore, that has really left the college in a very bad situation. So to mitigate the issues of acting, when a center managers resign, the college appoints lecturers as acting center managers to ensure that at least centers are functional. The major challenge of this acting center manager is non-payment of the acting allowance by the department. And this is really affecting them negatively. Currently, the college has employees who resign from their acting position due to financial constraints and the non-payment. Furthermore, 40 acting center managers have lodged a collective dispute of unfair labor practice against the college and the department as a result of the outstanding acting allowance to GPSSBC. With regard to the academic performance, the graph indicates the performance of academic programs, sub-level 1, sub-level 2, and sub-level 4. But this one specifically is for the GETC, sub-level 4. So in 2022, we were at 27.3%, 2023, 35.3%, and 2024, 37.2%. Although this performance shows improvement, however, it is a challenge because we have not achieved our GETC target. This is not only applicable to the Free State CET colleges. All 9 colleges are not achieving their GETC certification target. Now, with regard to the summary of the learning areas, in 2022, it was 62%. It's just on average. 2023, it was 66%. And 2024, it was 65%. This is just the average learning area performance for the GETC. The senior certificate results, we have done them per learning area because our students do not sit for the full qualifications. They register 1 or 2 learning areas. So I'll just highlight some of the subjects. For example, English in 2024, different locations, and that usage of blended learning will really assist. Some socio-economic challenges in this one, that's where higher health comes in to help us. We provide basic counseling to the students through the student support community support services. We use our lecturers because we don't have an official responsible for student and community support services. Late release of result and non-certification is also affecting their dropout, because some of them even say the CT college is a fly-by-night. So we are constantly engaging the Chief Directorate National Examination Assessment in DHET so that they really assist us to fast-track the issues of student results, because it's really affecting our college negatively. Overview of our college finances, audit outcome. We want to report, Chairperson, that our college obtained unqualified audit opinion for the financial years 2020 to 2022. In 2023, the college obtained a clean audit. In terms of the readiness for audit for this year, we have already appointed external auditors. We actually received a letter of concurrence from the Auditor General last year in December. We usually appoint a service provider to assist us with asset verification, because our asset is very complex throughout the province. So we have already done assets verification, because it's a big thing in audit, and we have completed that. All 2024 financial transactions are correctly captured, processed on our business central system. A preliminary budget estimate has been approved by council last year. We have captured the budget on the system, and we are currently on a positive bank balance. This is just to show the budget of our Free States, of our college over the past 3 years. This year, we have 19,106,000. And this budget decreased by 74,000 from the last year's allocation, which was 19,210,000. We also have earmarked a budget. I'll just highlight a few. Special needs education. This year, we have 267,000. And then infrastructure, 400,000. I will not go through the whole budget, but on this slide, we just want to indicate that as the CT college, we are really underfunded. Now, with regard to certification backlogs, 2022, we had 42 students who did not receive their certificate. We have submitted all the information to the Chief Directorate National Examination and Assessment, but to date we have not yet received them. 2023 we have submitted 323, we're still waiting. For this year we had 739 students who qualified for GTC. We are still waiting for the delivery, which usually happens during the course of the academic year. The backlog with regard to the results, 2023, we had 263 students. On this one, we really engaged the department. We even had 2-day session. But to date, those marks have not yet been results. 2024, 62 students, we also submitted. However, the update is that they are still working on the mop-up. We hope that the results will be released. The impact of outstanding results and certification for our college. We have already indicated that it's aiding to the high dropout of our students. But the biggest challenge is that it's causing massive damage to the image and the credibility of the college, the center managers, the learning centers, and our lecturers. Because when parents or family members are looking for the results, they go to the centers, and as such, sometimes they will really find themselves victimized. This also makes student recruitment and retention very challenging, as I've already indicated. Overview of the partnership. As the Free State CET College, we are actually the first college to sign MOU with the CET. I think it was in 2017. And we have been doing very well with partnership. However, on this slide, I'll only highlight the partners that we have signed in 2024, 2025 years. This is in addition to other partners that we have. So from the whole of last year and up to now, we have signed 19 memorandum of understanding and of agreement. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll just highlight. For example, Insurance CETA, they have offered us interns for 32,500. LG CETA have been funding our GETC ABET 100 students for 1.2 million. Like I said, I will not go through because it's a long list. TETA, for example, they also gave us the internship. And TETA also gave us code 10 driver's license because we are offering a K53 learners. So when they give us this funding, when our student leaves the sector, then they are able to really get employed, and some of them, they are even able to open their own business. So really, the support that we are getting through partnership is making an impact. Some of them will give us feedback that they got employment. So like I said, it's just a highlight. We also just signed with Maluti. Here we just want to collaborate with the usage of infrastructure, especially for examinations. As you know that our exams are run by the Free State, so we want to move and collaborate with TVET colleges so that we use their infrastructure. Service CETA just gave us another interns, construction CETA 50,000, so it's a lot that we are getting. When we get an opportunity, we apply. Now, specific overview of the physical and ICT infrastructure. With regard to infrastructure, we have a funder called WRCTA that gave us 100 million for the construction of Chiseo Community Learning Center, which is actually based in Reis. I will talk to it later. National Skills Fund, I will also just summarize. EcoLab, some of them we don't even know the value because they just donate. For example, Facet established a computer lab in Sasolburg, and Sasol Firm, they also built a center for us in Sasolburg, which is worth 2.5 million. So I'm just summarizing because we really have a lot of partnership for infrastructure. Connectivity of center, RAIN, also provided routers for us. With regard to land, Ngedwani local municipality donated the land where we are building Chiseo. We did not pay any cent. Mesimaholo, where the Sasol donated and built, it was donated by Mesimaholo. So the relationship of our college with municipality, we try to strengthen that. Okay, on this one, we just showing this infrastructure on this picture. Is the one that I've just mentioned, 5 classroom, 1 computer lab, admin, to the value of 2.5 million donated by Sasol. In addition, they gave us 100 students and chess. So we're really grateful. That land was donated by Mesimaholo. Very beautiful infrastructure. Now on this one, we're just showing you the college dream. We're saying dream because we have not yet arrived where we want to go. It shows the construction of Chiseo Community Learning Center as an agricultural skills hub in Reis. This is what we hope to achieve at the end. The college received funding to build my apologies.
I'm gonna get a chairs.
The college received funding to build Chiseo Community Learning Center in Reis. And this center is currently hosted by a primary school in Bezana, in Nketwani local municipality, Tabomfuzanyani district. So that center will relocate to the new site after the completion of the construction. The purpose of expanding Chiseo CLC as an agricultural skill hub is to address the socio-economic challenges faced by Nketwani local municipality and the whole province through the provision of education and skills, which is our mandate as the community education. And the concept was developed by us with various stakeholders, almost all stakeholders in the province. And the land was donated by Nketone. I think I've already mentioned that. We intend that we will enroll 5,000 students in its initial phase. And the numbers are as follows: for IELTS level 1 to 3, 300, GTC 1,000, senior certificate South 700, non-formal 1,000, occupations 2,000, in various programs such as welding, boiler making, electrical and fitting, construction, tractor and diesel mechanic, piggery, chicken coops, and sheep pen. The area is very agricultural, so we have targeted the training that will really align to the municipality. We have targeted all towns around the area such as Reis, Bedrestrain, Arlington, Cornelia, Frankfurt, Villiers, Bethlehem, Kestel. But our plan is to extend those services to all our students in the province, depending on the available funding. Now, we're also going to share with the portfolio committee the progress regarding that construction. Firstly, we received 60 million from WR-CETA and followed by 40 million. That 60 million is what we are currently busy constructing. I'm not going to repeat the workshops. And the second phase is actually a construction workshop, tractor and diesel mechanic workshop, and alternative solar PV with batteries, canteen, double-story classroom. And the construction of phase 2 will start as soon as we have completed phase 1. Now, in terms of the overall progress with regard to construction, with the guardhouse, we are at 85%. The admin building, we are at 80%. Theory classroom, 90%. Practical classroom, 80%. Electrical and fitting workshop, 80%. Boiler making and welding, 95%. Plumbing and drainage, 98%. Fencing is 99%. And the overall expenditure to date is 54,739,000, excluding the contractor's 10% retention. Now, we really had some challenges that we really experienced with this project, which is our phase 1. We really had challenges with the funding due to escalations. I'm referring to construction escalation, rise in fuel and logistic labor costs, the overheads and structural steel price. As a result, the scope was revised. And post the evaluation of the value engineered scope, we then came to a realization that that first initial budget would not achieve the practical completion or the desired functionality. The following could not be completed. The water, sewer, and electricity are not connected, sanitary installation not connected, fire protection, external work such as paving and landscape, internal doors, drywall, and also the finishing and elevator of the admin building have not yet been completed. And the update is that the contractor handed over the site to the college on 12 February 2025, and it was concluded that outstanding work would be deducted from the main contractor's retention. So the remaining phase 1 construction budget is at 47 million. The college has submitted the request for funding to complete phase 1 construction to the following institutions: Construction CETA, Agri-CETA, MER-CETA, KID-CETA, and lastly, the department. The progress from the department is that they are working on the matter. WR-CETA has indicated the funding for phase 2, which is that 40 million, will only be released as soon as the college has completed phase 1. The college has already received funding from MER-CETA for the following workshops already at Chiseho: electrical and welding and diesel mechanical workshop, and we are in the process of procurement. Now, we also just want to share the pictures of the work done. This was in 2022, where we were actually establishing the site. We just cut pictures just to show progress over the years. 2023 August, it shows the progress. 12 December 2024, you can already see a bit of progress that it's actually the roof was there. And 2025, you can see the windows in the admin building and throughout the whole building, windows, the building is closed. You can see the practical and theory classrooms, the two of them at a distance and also inside. So basically what is left is just the finishing, the connection and the flooring. So these are the pictures. The toilets are there, they just need to be connected. National Skills Fund, I'll also just summarize. The college received funds to establish 8 workshops at various community learning centers, and they will be implemented as follows in various centers. These are different workshops that will be that we are currently busy with through NSS and National Skills Fund funding, and we are in a process of procuring furniture, tools, and equipment, and we are renovating some of the classes. So we just want to show in terms of the progress, like here in Parys, this is the electrical workshop in Dumahole in Parys. And this one is Botshabelo will be doing cell phone repair workshop in Botshabelo. Obviously, the intention is to make sure that South Africans can do repair our cell phones instead of using the foreign nationals as it has been the practice. This is Mobedi Royal. We are doing the welding workshop there. WRCTA ICT project, they funded us 5 million to establish computer labs in 6 of our community learning centers. We just provided few of the pictures of those computer labs, and this one is also at Chiseho. At Chiseho, we established it in a mobile classroom. So this will be able to move to the new site. The furniture and this, all of them will be able to move because at that time we didn't have infrastructure. ICT lab donated by FACET. This beautiful lab was donated by FACET in Engie North Sasolburg. We have also just got another lab in Ruvel, in Harib district, in our center called Umzuotlolo. And Kelsita also just 360,000, where we are doing another computer lab in Kwakwasi, Nudi. Now we also have 3 centers that have solar system. One of such center is Dumahole Parys. It was funded by WRCTA, and we actually have 3 of them. We just showed one picture. FACET funded us a mobile classroom in Tabanchu. If you can see the infrastructure in Tabanchu is really not in good condition, so this really came handy, and we're really excited about the support that we are getting from the city. Connectivity at our centers, due to limited budget, our centers have challenges. However, we try to mitigate this by buying computers and laptop for center managers, and we've also trained them on end-user computing, just to, so that they are able to operate the devices. And also through DHET, we have connection at few of our centers throughout the province. Now, one of the strategies that we are implementing as the college due to lack of infrastructure, we are approaching public works and the Free State Department of Education to request a new schools building. So currently we have about 13. However, these buildings need security and renovations, and we don't have budget for that. So we're just showing just few, for example, in Ruterang, our staff room, the ablution facilities, they need the fencing and the gate. So I'm just going to highlight, but we do have our infrastructure maintenance plan, although we don't have budget for that. So these are each center, and we have identified what needs to be done in each one of them. We just want to share the highlights of some of the conditions of the infrastructure. And in some of them, they are vandalized because we do not have security. And the little budget that we have received as the department, we really fix them in phases. Year by year, we'll say we'll do this center or we'll do this one classroom. So we're just sharing these two centers in terms of their state and what we are doing about them. So how do we then maintain these centers? We just want to show and share with the portfolio committee the budget that we've been allocated by the department. This is just showing the 2024 budget that we were allocated 358,200 for the maintenance, and we managed to spend 437,389. And it just shows how limited the funding is regarding this infrastructure. Now, in terms of the challenges that we are facing as the sector, as the chairperson has highlighted, we do have unfunded organogram, limited staffing at head office. Chairperson, I want to share that we don't have IT, an official that helps us to deal with IT issues. We don't have labor relation, we don't have marketing, we don't have finance. We only have that deputy principal finance and one clerk, and the rest are interns, just to give the practical. So the managers that are here below them, it's just 1, 2 clerks from the interns and the academic staff. That is the abnormality I was referring to earlier on. There is also a delay in the migration of district officials. The district official chairperson are the officials who were responsible for the centers before migration. So when we migrated to DHET, those officials were placed at the regional office, and the college migrated then with the principal and center. So that created a gap. So there is a process in DHET to migrate these officials to the college, and it's 10 years now. The process has not yet finalized, because they will really assist with the staffing. Outstanding GTC results and certification. This is also a challenge that is not addressed by the Chief Directorate National Examination and Assessment. Payment of acting allowance. Payment of qualifications is another issue. When lecturers improve their qualification, they are supposed to be paid as they move from one REQV to the another. And that is a challenge because we don't know, we have done our part, but corporate service branch is not paying them. I've already highlighted the budget for maintenance and the budget for service that is limited. To successes. The Free State CET College is the first community college in the history of the country to build a community learning center. I think it should be recorded that we are the first college to build a community learning center through the partnership, and we will always want to recognize WRCTA for their innovation. The college obtained unqualified audit opinion for 3 consecutive years, and we obtained clean audit in 2023 financial year. We are also excited that I'm sure we are the first college that received a building which was built from scratch by an industry. So it shows our relationship that is not only with CETA and government, but we are also reaching out to big companies such as Sasol to help us, and also our municipality. Here is just the municipality and Sasol handing over the land, the center to us. Our college nominated for in-service Insurance CETA Excellent Award for the best implementing CET college in 2025. 2023, our college was awarded the most progressive CET college at WRCTA 2023 Good Practice Award. We just show it. So we received 50,000. We are very excited because that 50,000 is what we used to award, performing well. The college is showing improvement in terms of academic performance and student enrollment in the past 3 years. Unfortunately, we didn't show the enrollment, but every year we are improving. We have established 9 computer labs. We have 13 unused schools, building and mobile classrooms. 3 municipalities donated land to us. We have 2 QCTO accreditation, despite limited staff. We have 3 community learning centers that provide education to persons with disability. We have started to train lecturers in occupational qualifications such as welding, automotive body repair through the funding of CETAs. When we apply, because we want to prepare so that when we finish building like in RAISE and the first, we have internal staff that can be able to be used and make sure that we train our students. In closing, Chairperson, we really appreciate the support and the presence of the portfolio committee in our college. We hope in future we will be able to host you in our own building. Despite the challenges the college is facing, the college management and staff are working beyond the call of duty to ensure that the out-of-school youth and adults of the Free State Province are empowered through education and skills. And thank you very much, and these are my thoughts.
Thank you very much, Principal. Acting Regional Manager, do you see what we meant by partnerships that make sense? Not what our college is doing. And a shame, CET has got no resource, nothing. Probably have 1% of what the college has, if it even gets to 1%. Are they able to utilize the 1 cent that they have optimally? So the college, SRC, let's present SRC. Is it SRC first or is it workers? Yeah, let's take student first. Please put the presentation of students. The only thing the principal is, on your is it what college successes. Yeah, the slide I think is the second last slide. No, 3 slides before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slides before. Yeah, where you put municipality there. People with red overalls, they're appearing. Next time. Next time, I crop him, but principal. It was on a lighter note. It's all.
1, 2.
Yeah,
1,
it's
2,
on a
check.
lighter note. President, take us through.
1, 2. Okay, some people can't count. Some people can't count ahead of 2 because they're always saying 1, 2. But anyways, greetings everybody. Good afternoon. Greetings to the floor at large. Greetings to the DDG in his absence, I believe. Greetings to the chairperson of the portfolio committee itself, Mr. Letsi, and the committee members. Greetings to the Free State CET College Principal, Ms. Matlawa, and the college members in attendance. Greetings to my fellow SRC reps of Goldfields, President Ms. Tobala, I hope I'm not butchering your name, and General Secretary Ms. Modisa. I would like to close off by saying greetings by saying protocol observed. Going further, me and the SRC compiled this in request of the committee. As you can see, we have our index. We have the purpose of our presentation, readiness for the 2025 academic year, challenges faced by the students and by the SRC as well, to just add on that, and then recommendations for improvements and our conclusion. I would like to go through a slide. The purpose of our presentation, I just want to cut all the top part just for sake of time. I'll go straight to A, which is readiness of the 2025 academic year, prevailing student challenges, and forward think, forward thinking recommendations for the year. The Free State CET College Student Representative Council, which will be us, received confirmation that a large percentage of prospective students have managed to complete registrations for the 2025 academic year, as per information. The college has managed to provide centers with the student registration forms on time. The centers were easily accessible during the registration process, and students were provided with student support services. Class timetables were provided to all registered students. The students have indicated that they have received final drafts of the 2025 May-June examination timetables as well ahead of time. The Students' Representative Council can confirm on behalf of students and the centers are ready for the 2025 academic year. Going into our first slide, going into our challenges of the students at the college. Underfunding and budget constraints. Ms. Matlawa covered it perfectly, so I'm just going to go over a briefing quickly. The college allocated budget is not sufficient to allocate to accommodate all centers' needs to ensure accelerated, effective teaching and learning. The allocated budget is insufficient in a sense that it cannot accommodate the following to the optimum capacity. We have repair, maintenance of centers, provision of LTSM to all learners, provision of occupational skills, programmers and training to all students, retention of critical skills lectures such as mathematics and sciences, insufficient funds budget to robust marketing and advocacy for all learning centers. Secondly would be our poor infrastructure and inadequate learning facilities. Now we do have some infrastructures being put up in place, however, many classrooms are built and buildings are old, poorly maintained and overcrowded. Lack of proper sanitation, hygiene in absolution faculties, broken toilets as such, no specialized learning spaces for vocational training or science-based subjects. And then we have damaged furnitures on top of that and lack of proper infrastructure and this for disabled students. Going into our third challenge, we have a shortage of qualified educators now. Sorry. Yeah, that's better. A shortage of qualified educators. Centers are currently struggling with the shortage of lecturers in fundamental learning areas such as mathematical literacy, pure mathematics, and mathematical sciences. The college still has unqualified lecturers that were inherited from the basic education upon migration to centers to higher education and training. It's not necessarily that the lecturers are unqualified, is that they were with the basic education. Now since we migrated from basic education into higher education, the mix is not mixing, if I can put it that way. Limited access to digital learning and technology, no internet access for students to partake in our government e-learning programs, lack of computer labs, too many centers, no proper training for educators on using technology in the classroom. And one thing we're also facing mainly is things like registering online. Those are the things that we could also fast track maybe. Higher student dropout rates and low retention. Many adult learners struggle to balance education with work and family responsibilities. Financial burdens force students to drop out before completing their courses. Lack of academic and emotional support services for struggling students. The challenge impact would be without flexible study schedules, many students cannot attend regular classes. No student support programs such as tutoring, mentorship, or career counseling. High transportation costs discourage rural students from attending classes. Um, Insufficient SRC budget. On top of that, the current budget limits the SRC members from performing their office duties effectively, having few mass meetings with all college students, resourcing of SRC with communication tools to enable effective communication among SRC members and the students on the ground level. Inadequate budget for traveling and accommodation for SRC activities, trouble with keeping up with studies along with the home responsibilities and portfolio responsibilities. I'm just going to cover this quickly. The recommendations to take the college forward, the first one will be increase the allocation of funding for the FSCET college. The department is encouraged to increase, the department is encouraged to increase the existing budget allocation for the Free State CET college in order to meet academic obligations, encourage fundraising activities, prioritize and provide more funding in order to improve infrastructure for disabled students, upgrade infrastructure and learning facilities, renovate existing infrastructure, classrooms, for example, and build new learning spaces, improve sanitation and hygiene facilities to create a healthier environment, establish more computer labs, digital learning centers, and internet access. 3 would be to recruit and retain qualified educators, increase and offer better benefits to attract skilled teachers, provide continuous professional development and training, reduce teacher workload by hiring more staff and offering administrative support on top of that. The 4th one would be to modernize the curriculum and expand course offerings, introduce more technical and vocational training programs. The 5th one will be implementing digital learning and IT training, provide free or subsidized internet access and devices to students, develop blended learning mobiles and models, combining in-person and online classes, train educators on modern teaching technologies. And then our 6th recommendation is strengthen student support services, provide counseling, career guidance, and mentorship programs. And then our 7th would be encourage student retention through introducing feeding schemes in centers, because that is one thing that we saw with our students, is that most of them don't come to school because they don't have anything to eat at home, and then because of that they have lack of energy and so lack of energy, you can't focus in class, giving us a higher dropout rating. Recommendations to address challenges faced by the SRC: increase the budget for the Student Representative Council, extracurricular and educational aid, introduction of intramural and recreational activities to boost student representative council and FSCET college students' moral and chemistry on top of that. Mental and physical health checkup to improve performance within the Free State CET college and the student representative council members. And then introduction to meal programs, feeding schemes, like I said again, in rural areas. With our conclusion, we would like to just say, as the whole of the Free State CET Student Representative Council, this Free State CET College Student Representative Council strongly believes that these challenges could be addressed through strategic funding, infrastructure improvements, curriculum reform, and digital integration, and will have a significant impact in teaching and learning. Implementing these changes will ensure that students receive quality education, market relevant skills, and better career opportunities, ultimately contributing to economic and social development in Free State. The Free State College is a pivotal junction where transformative innovations can significantly enhance the student experience. The SRC firmly believes that through collaborative engagement with the Department of Higher Educational and Training, DHET, Free State CET College management unions, and the portfolio committee itself, solutions can be implemented to address the challenges outlined. As the torchbearers of the student voice, we remain committed to advocating for policies and practices that foster inclusivity, academic excellence, and holistic student development. The Student Representative Council will continue to work with the college management to ensure that the challenges are addressed and the learning experience for the students is enhanced. Thank you.
Thank you, President. For me, President, it's the second last slide where you say you just need budget must be increased. Runyaga budget. Workers, I hope we have consolidated our presentation. Oh, is this one working? Yeah, if workers can just.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair, members of the Portfolio Committee, the college principal, deputy principals of the college, union reps, SRC, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Honorable Chair, I'm not going to waste time in introduction. I will shoot, because of time, go straight to our presentation as workers. As mandated by the Portfolio Committee, as workers, we managed to consolidate our points, whereby we spoke of so many things that were common. When we were sitting, we realized that there are things that are concerning us, but we came to a consensus. I will start with the readiness of the college, the state of readiness of the college for the academic, for 2025 academic year. Honorable Chair, indeed, the presentation of our principal really reflected as, very nice, showing that really we are ready. But unfortunately, on the workers' perspective, the college is not ready. It boils to some few points that I want to highlight. One of the points I think she also mentioned, but I think this must be a mandate of the college to make sure that those results come to us on time. The first one is the releasing of GT November results. Now, I would like to differ with college because as we look at how things were happening, some provinces got their results on time, but as for us, they did not come on time, whereby it created havoc in centers, whereby now students were starting to ask us questions to say, now why are we not getting our results since other people have their results? So really, releasing of results, it's a sign that our college was not ready for the academic year 2025. Because when we were busy with the registration, majority of the things that we will really focus on will be entertaining the questions that will be asked by people, whereby they will say, we'll never come to your center because now some people who were coming to the very same center, they just come to classes, but they do not get their results. Those are challenges that we have as workers. The second one will be the issue of unpacking of SBAs. The SBAs are the site-based assessments whereby these are the core things whereby we can say, now if learners do not, if we as workers do not have them at hand, whereby we know exactly what is expected of us, if we do our planning and stuff, we know exactly what to do. But unfortunately, as we speak, Honorable Chair, it is only last week when we set for that session of unpacking. Now, these are the things that really brings confusion and are causing havoc in centers. And some of the members are becoming very discouraged in handling some of the issues because when we go to, it really tells us that our college is not ready. Now, let us go to the challenges of workers. As much as our college is progressing and there are things that are happening, we still have workers who are experiencing challenges. The greatest challenge that we are having with our college is lack of communication between centers and the college. Most of the time when we want to communicate with the college, especially when you are having emergencies, you will never get hold of anybody. And sometimes these are the things that we are sitting at the centers and we need to be running centers in a proper way. But we cannot even you cannot get hold of anybody on phone or whatever. They are forever in meetings. Another thing is inadequate tools of trade. Comrade Chair, sorry to say Comrade Chair, I'm sorry. Honorable Chair, the tools of trade is a problem because now, imagine sitting at the center and there are no photocopy machines. There is nothing that you can work with. Yes, we are producing results. We are having, those partnerships. But within those partnerships, I think that is when people can negotiate and say, let us at least have some photocopy machines. If you have a photocopy machine, it's either it's working or there is no cartridge, or something is happening to the photocopy machine. Another issue that we are having is inadequate tuition time, whereby there's too much workload and has to cater all programs run at centers, as others are working 3 hours and some are working 5 hours. This is really a problem, Honorable Chair, because when we look at the time that we are given, our time is not that enough. I think our principal mentioned that some of the centers are hosted. When we are hosted like that, it shows that we really need our own infrastructure, because with the programs that she tabled, we have the skills that are very, there are nice programs that we are having in our college. But the problem, the time that we are given to cater for all those programs are not enough. And the fact that people are working 3 hours, it's an issue of people who are not qualified enough, whereby you find that the person is not even having an RQV that is expected by the department. So it's a lack of the time that they are working. They are only working 3 hours because of their qualification. And if that can be corrected, it will really help us. Another issue that we are having is that workers cannot access some of the benefits due to delays at college. You mentioned your housing and improvement of qualifications. Yes, our principal mentioned. But when we check as a labor, and we liaise with the department, some of the challenges are caused by documents not being sent to DHEAD, whereby you find that a person has applied for housing as of 2021, when we were made permanent. They are supposed to access their benefits automatically, but they cannot. A person is always having a benefit of housing, but they cannot even access the benefit. And with improvement of qualifications, it is whereby you have people, who finished before even we become permanent. People had a qualification, but now they are sitting with the wrong qualification, whereby they are not even compensated on that. People use their money. We have workers who are even going through stress and depression, whereby they have, they went to school, they have qualification, but they are not paid according to what they acquired. So it's a great challenge to workers. Another issue is we do not have the wellness programs that are funded by college. As I mentioned, that some of them are having depression and stuff. Sometimes we need our college to thinking of issues we have in team building, whereby we have our wellness programs, where they worry about our wellness. They worry about our wellness because they cannot have the workers who are fully functioning, whereby they are having depression and stuff. That is a great challenge to our workers. And the other challenge is non-payment of acting center managers for the whole year. You can imagine acting on a position, and as part of it, when they are acting, some of them are not even staying in the very same place where they are acting. They are appointed at those positions, and wherever they are staying, they are renting out places. So they have to also use their own money, because now they are only paid for lecturing, of which their duties are more than what they are paid for. So really, it's a frustration. And as part of it, when you check at those posts, the posts that they are acting on, some of the people, like our principal mentioned, that some resigned. Those people who resigned on those posts, they were permanent, they are funded posts. So it's worrying us that why are those people not appointed permanent on those posts? Because those are funded positions, vacant posts. And another thing, as a challenge to our workers, when we were experiencing COVID, there were recovery plans that were made by college. As we sit, people have not been paid up to now. And centers have submitted everything that was needed. Now, these are the things whereby we ask ourselves, are we just doing everything? Because every good work is done in our college. We are producing good results. People are, we have nice buildings and stuff like that. But if people are not paid, it's really bringing pain to our workers. We do not have proper infrastructure like our principal showed. And really it's a challenge because some of the infrastructure, as she was showing the pictures, they are dangerous to our people. Workers are just working under hazardous places, whereby if anything can happen to them, nothing will happen to them. And if the same problem that we are having, we even have some of the teachers. Remember, when we have such problems of people working in infrastructures that are not functioning, we need to be having a safety measures. We don't even have the committee that is functioning on that. We do not have a functional committee on that safety of safety. Another problem that we are having as workers is that hosting schools are not paid on time. And as a result, we cannot even access the premises. If maybe they have to enter, sometimes you'll find that they will tell you that because now your college is not paying us, you cannot use the classes. Teaching and learning cannot happen. And that brings frustration. Imagine if you are coming from home and you are ready to teach, and learners are already here. Now you have to pack your things and go back home because college has not paid the hosting schools. Another challenge is poor procurement systems that we are experiencing at our centers. As centers, we will procure things whereby we are expecting that, okay, when the academic year starts, everybody will be having our LTSM, will be having, your stationery and stuff. As we sit, there is none. There is none, and procurement was made as of last year. And the worst part of it, when the procurement comes, it will come at a later stage when it is no longer necessary for whatever it was meant to. And worst part of it, whatever that you have procured, it will not be exactly what you procured. It will be something else. Whereby, say maybe you are having 100 learners. You will find that the procurement, when it comes, it will never even cater for all those 100 learners. It will only cater for 10 learners. That's what we experienced as of last year. And that is a challenge. Whereby we now have to say as a center or as workers will now have been to say, okay, what is a way forward to say, can we pop out money? And this goes back to our pockets, whereby we make sure that let there be paper at the centers, let there be this at the centers. And that is a frustration. Okay, like I mentioned that we do have committees at the college, but they are not visible and they are not functional. And those committees are the ones who will really help us in some of the frustrations as workers. It will help us to make sure that centers are run properly. But now, because they are not functional, if we have committees, they are just there on paper, and they are not just coming to centers whereby you see yourself being in this committee and it is functional and centers are running properly. And another challenge that we are having as workers is that since we migrated from 2015 from basic education, majority of our workers, let me say all workers, when we check our appointment date is totally wrong. We are not appointed on the time when we entered the system. And that is a frustration. You check you check your pay slip, and some of the people, when they come to us as labor, is that I wanted to do 1, 2, 3, but now when whatever is reflecting on the pay slip, it shows as if I just entered the system. And you know our members, they will be looking for maybe wanting to open accounts and stuff like that, or doing other things with their pay slips. And when you check, the days are not correct. We have spoken about this with the college, whereby we said to the college, this is the challenge that our workers are having. Can you please help on this? We were expecting that the college will be giving us evidence to make sure that DHEAD gets the information and the dates are updated. And lastly, as a challenge, workers cannot apply for bursaries since adverts are only given 2 to 3 days, even 5 days. And it doesn't accommodate everybody. I remember some of the adverts that will come, it will come today and you will be told that, okay, we are the closing date is in 3 days, or it's in 5 days, or it's in 7 days. It doesn't accommodate everybody, and it doesn't give each and every person chance to say, let me apply. Because not all of us are having, your data. People will get the advert later or whatever. And really, bursaries are not accommodating everybody. And when you look at the bursaries that are given by the college, you'll find that some of them are not even addressing the challenges that we had. Like I said, some of our members are under RQV 13. So if maybe they can bring the bursaries that will correct the qualifications of our workers, so that when we look at each and everybody, we fall under one umbrella and all people are qualified. I'll now go to the recommendations that we made as a union. We recommended that it will be better if the communication can be better between the college and the centers, because really we want to see things happening. We have seen the good things that are coming. So if there is smooth communication, there will be smooth running of centers. And then another thing, we urge the college to attend to every worker when they have challenges. When challenges come, can we please get attention? Because some of the challenges really cannot be dealt with at center level. Another recommendation is that college need to provide resources equally amongst centers in order to produce good results. Like I mentioned, that our photocopy machines, you'll find that in a town it's only one photocopy machine, and we have more than 10 centers. So if we can get resources, if we can get each and everything that we need as centers, really centers will, and the college will produce good results. Recruitment of lecturing staff and their appointment should be done in time for teaching and learning to be effective. If we recruit, recommendation will be, if we recruit, let it be done on time, whereby we do not find ourselves saying, okay, this is a center A is not having this lecture. But when you see there is advertisement and there are interviews that are done, but when placement has to happen, it's not happening on time, whereby you find that staff now is sitting and having problems because there is nobody who is occupying the post. College should make follow-up with DHEAD on all unpaid benefits for workers. We plead with our college that please let there be follow-up. Yes, we know that you are pushing, but can we please push harder? Because now we are losing our members. Some members, they just go with depression. You can imagine when you have depression, nobody's going to help you. So let there be speed on that. College to put aside some funds. Can we please put some funds aside so that we have our wellness programs in a form of team building, whereby lectures and other stuff can just be motivated, because if people are demoralized with the issue of not being paid, they need some motivation somewhere, somehow. So let there be funds put aside to say, let us go and motivate these people. Another one is college bursaries. Can we make sure that people are given ample time? When it comes to adverts, let there be ample time to say, okay, this is the time that we are giving you, so that everybody can be able to apply. And the bursaries that are coming, can they really be focused on equipping our lecturers? Because some of them are under RQV 13. And then another thing is, acting center managers, can we please make sure that whatever that is outstanding to acting center managers be paid? May they be paid all their benefits, outstanding benefits to be paid on them. College should make the hosting schools, they should be paid on time. I think each and every time we have memorandum of understanding, and in those memorandum of understanding, immediately when they are signed, can the college help us to make sure that they speed their payments and everything? And that will make sure that we are accommodated in a proper way. Because remember, with hosting schools, they are giving us everything. Sometimes they even allow us to use their resources, like your photocopy machines. But if they are not paid, it is limiting us as workers. College committees to be active and functional is our plea. College to submit sufficient evidence of correct appointment dates to DHET, and to make sure that our college, okay, lastly, when we conclude, we are pleading with college that we are not here to fight the college as labor. We are pleading with the college that can we form what we call Union Management Committee? When we have that, we know that we can meet with management of the college each and every time, speak on issues that are internal. I know there are some issues that are external, whereby each and every college is having. But now there are some internal issues that we need to sit down and talk about. We want to see our college growing and achieving the results that they are showing on the slides. Thank you very much, comrade.
Thank you very much, comrade. The department, who's representing the department? Are you the only one? There are two. What is your response? There's a number of issues that are raised by both the workers and the school itself that is in that requires your response. What is your response? Maybe you'll tell us your name, your position that you are holding at in the branch of the department, and then you will respond.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Good afternoon to the Chair and members of the Portfolio Committee. My name is David Diale. I serve as the Chief Director, Curriculum, specifically. within the CET branch. Let me indicate here that some of the issues are related to corporate services. So I will provide just a general response for some of those. Some of the issues relate to, let's talk to this conditions of service, but it's conditions of service, your post-provisioning norms, issues of working hours. So that broad category of issues that labor has raised, as well as the college. And in relation to those, Chair, all of those relate to the fact that you require an increased budget for compensation of employees. And as you may be aware, Chair, and members of the committee, at the moment, the budget for CET colleges, specifically salaries budget, at the moment is at 92% of the overall budget. So there is no space currently, unless we get additional funding, to actually respond, one, to the increase in the number of working hours, two, to respond to the implementation of a post-provisioning model. Three, it relates also to this question that we have acting center managers, but the process is that the posts of acting of center managers are posts that must be created by the department, and there must be concurrence with the Department of Public Service and Administration. Unfortunately, that concurrence is not yet agreed to, simply because any department that wants to deal with PPN, increasing the number of hours, we must then indicate to the PSA that we have the money to actually fund those processes. So currently, the situation is that the compensation budget is actually insufficient to deal with those aspects.
So you're saying from the branch, we have not sent money back to Treasury on compensation of employees?
Chair, the money that has gone back is more related to vacant posts that are there. But in relation to the calculations made about how to implement the PPN, the calculations made around the increase in the number of hours, the calculations were saying we'd actually need to double the current budget, which when we go to Treasury on these matters, Treasury is saying the department must actually prioritize from its own allocation. There's no additional funding coming for compensation of employees.
No problem. Now answer my question.
Yeah. So your question, Chair, I'm saying the money that goes back to Treasury is when the department is not filling in vacant posts.
And you're saying we have not returned money to Treasury because on compensation of employees when it was budgeted and approved, the budget. That's what you are saying. So the 580 million that we took back on the 31st of March, 2024, and the one that we'll take back now, when the financial year ends, you are saying to us confidently, there is not a single R1 that would have been for compensation of employees at the CET branch. That's what you are saying.
Chair, I'm saying the money that goes back to Treasury is the money because the department is not filling in the vacant posts that are there, Chair.
Yeah, but you are the department, and we're asking you. The reason you're answering on behalf of the department.
I'm answering, Chair, on behalf of the CTE branch because I'm saying these issues of corporate services are issues that corporate services
Yeah.
will be in a better position.
No,
to
let's
deal
do this. Don't answer us things that you are not able to speak on. Because I said CET, answer us on what you are what is it that you are supposed to answer on? You volunteered to answer us on the employees, and now we're asking you. You are saying no. It's a different DDG of corporate, not DDG of CET. Go to the ones that you are supposed to answer them.
Thank you, Chair. In relation to what has been raised, the second one is on then
No, it's the
provision-
first one. That one
Yeah,
is not
okay.
yours. Yeah.
The first one is on the issues related to the provision of learning and teaching support materials. I think the SRC chair raised that. The principal also indicated that there isn't sufficient funding with regards to the procurement, the provision of budgets for LTSM. On this one, Chair, we have been engaging with Treasury, and as a result, we have received additional allocations for LTSM. So this will then be transferring to colleges.
When?
Today, we've submitted the approvals for DDG to approve. So it means either at the end of this month or the beginning of April, the allocation would be transferred to colleges on LTSM.
To all 9 provincial offices. To all 9 provincial.
Yeah, to all 9 colleges. To all 9 colleges.
Okay, in
So-
writing, give it to us. Or how much is it? How much is going to be given to each
Yeah.
college in writing
No, that will provide that.
by next week, Wednesday, the 2nd of
That-
April.
that's fine,
Yes,
Chair.
let's go.
That's fine, Chair. The second issue then that has been raised relates to marketing, rebranding, and support to colleges with regards to this particular issue. With this one, in addition to the allocation that colleges are receiving for their marketing, we've also been talking to CETAs with regards to assistance with, in terms of rebranding of CET colleges. So at the moment, we do have a commitment from the FPNM CETA for the allocation with regards to branding. So we're just needing to finalize the paperwork with regards to the agreement, but there is an additional allocation made by FPMN and CETA with regards to
How much is
marketing and
it?
branding. Currently, the discussion we've had with them was around 3 million.
For all 9 provincial.
No, it's the 3 million overall, and then we will use this to assist with rebranding across all the 9 colleges.
Okay.
The third one, Chair, it's with regards to issues related to the provision of digital infrastructure. So your ICT specifically, the establishment of ICT labs. On this one, Chair, is just to indicate that we've again submitted proposals to the NSF as well as to CETAs for additional ICT labs to be established in some of the colleges. At this point, all of the ICT funded labs have been through support by partners. The various CETAs, some of the private or industry partners that have then provided ICT labs. In addition to that, we've been engaging with the Department of Communications, and then I think the principal has indicated that RAIN and Centec are providing us with issues of connectivity. Currently, there's an agreement that will provide for the 9 colleges as well as the 54 community learning centers. So that's in terms of trying to roll out ICT in community learning centers.
Out of all of those ICT, how many did you as national office secure for the provincial team?
For example, the WNR CETA ICT labs, the 54, it was as a result of our negotiations with CETAs. The 12 ICT labs established in Gauteng, it was as a result of the partnership we have with Ecolabs.
Yeah, we're
Out
talking about Free State.
Yeah, I'm coming to Free State colleagues.
No, let's go straight to Free
Yeah.
State.
Ecolabs has established also ICT labs. That is as a result of the facilitation of the department.
Okay.
So that's the issues related to that, Chair. In addition to that, Chair, even though it's not yet concretized, but we are having engagement with Huawei, we are having engagement with CPUT, CPUT, we've established now digital learning platforms in the 9 colleges, and also that is a result of facilitation by the department with regards to the ETDP CETA. I think those, Chair, are the ones that fall within the scope of the CET branch. The others about exams, infrastructure, as indicated, lie with the other branches. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. You have nothing to say about the brand CET being looked at as a fly-by-night because you are not producing certification, or even the examinations are being held, but there are no results.
Yeah, I think on this one, also our Chief Director of Examinations actually has provided a response on the certification backlog to the committee. Chair, the interventions that have been put in place with regards to improving the issues about the resulting specifically. The first one is that we've appointed additional capacity in the Chief Director of Examinations, specifically people responsible for the exam administration system, who can then assist further the department around processing results. So system administrators, additional system administrators have been contracted to assist the department and the branch with dealing with results. The second issue is that the chair and colleagues are aware, of course, that the previous chief director pensioned, and so we have a new acting chief director where we are also establishing DG committees to try and deal with this aspect of the problems around resulting. The third issue, of course, is the training that we're doing currently in all of the colleges in terms of understanding the processes around exams, the requirements around exams, so that we are able to deal with some of the issues related to results are about irregularities. So, for example, if students were copying, when we go to Umalusi with our data, some of those results will be held up until the department does an investigation.
Let's leave it.
Yeah. Thanks, Chair.
Yeah, let's leave it. Because we have results that are supposed to be out, but are not affected by the few who copied. We did not ask you about that. That's why when we ask you, if you did not hear, they are going to ask you questions. If you did not hear, please ask them to repeat the question. Because don't answer us what we're not asking you. And everything else that we're asking, everything that you've said is in the pipeline. Yeah, well, you see, we're working. We're doing, yeah, chief director pension, yeah, well, not everything, it's not the first time that these things have been happening. You are not inspiring confidence as the department. The assistance that you are supposed to give is not satisfactory. Ma'am, how many minutes? 5, okay. 1 5. Where is the please give Mama Seko there.
Thank you very much, Chair. I need only about 2 minutes. I'm not going to take. If Member Karawa can.
Hold on, Member Karawa. Goldfields, you see, we want to listen to questions. You're conversing too loud. When you're supposed to converse loud in making partnerships, you're not doing it. You are conversing loud, disrupting us from listening to questions. Assembly rights given you alone, Mara Assembly. Mama Seko.
Thank you very much. Chair, you know, about the community colleges, it's quite an interesting one because most of the time we see the work that you are doing, that is great job with a minimum budget that gets to be allocated. But always, for me, what is worrisome is the relationship between the management and the workers. That is, it's always, because today, now it was like we are listening to your session between the two of you, trying to communicate. If a shop steward can come and say that if we can have a relationship to try and have conversations, it becomes problematic a little bit of how do you plan without engagement with the union to say what needs to happen. Maybe if you can answer me in, when was the last time that you engaged with the unions?
Principal, can you borrow them mic? Huh? Yes, Principal.
Thank you very much, Chairperson and Honorable. Yes, I think that is our weakness, and however we will work on it. It's also created by the issue of staffing because we only have DP corporate service and one clerk. So really we are struggling. So what, like Mem Bobo was saying, that even trying to contact that, it becomes difficult, is true, because like today when I'm here, I'll find that I'll have more than 100 calls. So to return those calls with the staff that we have is really challenging. But we will work on it because we are revised our committees this year, and we will start working on that. It's an area that we need to work on. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that what is important in planning for the future, engagement with the union, other things that they are mentioning is for them to get that clarity and understanding of why things are happening the way they do happen, because it might be the word of mouth says something different than the reality, but the engagement is about putting it on the table to have this is what we are doing, this is what we have, and how can we work together for that. So improve on that one, but I'm impressed with the partnerships that you have with the limited resources that you do have. Chair, I'm done.
Thank you very much. Olga.
Chair, I need 12.
12. We've agreed on 5 minutes.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
So first things first, Chair, I'd like to understand how did we arrive to having 3 colleges out of 3 colleges that deals with special needs in the entire province. We have 3 that come out of 2 districts. That is the district of Mangaung and Thabo Mfutsanyane. This question is directed at the department, because I don't think it's fair on the chair and the principal. The second one, perhaps if I could get an understanding of what is the marketing strategy that is used to target the enrollment. What is their target market? Who are these students that they are targeting? Because I'm saying this because community know this branch of the department or the education sector as a branch that deals with a finishing schooling that the basic education would be feeding you. But after your presentation, Principal, I was very happy with the expansions and the efforts that have been made to make sure that there is more that comes out of the output of this branch of our higher education fraternity. Now the next one, Chair, it could be a very serious violation of a human rights to dignity to our workers. This one is the workforce. We are getting issues that relates to wrong qualifications, the housing benefits that are violated or they are denied the workers, wrong appointment letters, even working hours, that is a threat to a dignity of a person that wakes up in the morning and chooses to serve the communities of South Africa. It's a violation. I'm saying this because it also threatens the state's capacity to actually provide and protect their provident funds, because we are going to be sitting with a new problem wherein these people will be coming to us again when their time is out to get out of the system. Then they will, because of wrong appointment letters, we will be sitting with a new problem of provident funds being unaccounted for, because we are unable to know how long has these people been in the system, when were they appointed, and so on and so forth. Wrong qualifications as well. We would like to believe that this branch of the department have been established by Minister in 2015. That was already 21 years into a democratic dispensation whereby there was access open for everyone to learning and to get funding to acquire necessary qualifications. So how is it that you are telling me that 21 years we had a crop of many teachers that were the universities were giving as output, and you still have issues of wrong qualification? How did we arrive at this problem? How are we sitting with people that are there with wrong qualifications? I just want clarity on that, and through your indulgence, Chief Director, maybe if you could tell us how did this happen? Then if we have funded posts, why are we not even paying people who are acting? Because I'd like to believe this is a voluntary work. People volunteer to do extra work that they are not appointed to do, but they still denied to be paid for their voluntary efforts. Another violation of a right of a worker. It's a violation, it's a human right, it's enshrined in the Constitution of the country, Chapter 2. A human being has a right to dignity, Chair. It can't be that we are seated here and people are even violated their rights at a workplace, in a state institution, where we should be people that protect, and we are flagships of defending the gains of a democratic state, which we are hoping it would lead us to a developmental state. Lastly, Chair. Thank you.
Yes, that's the last one.
Thank you. The Chiseletso Community Learning Center seems like a well-coordinated college, and it's got sufficient programs that are feeding to the job market and industry that I've spoken about earlier when I was addressing to the Goldfields issues. Now, I see you are very broad here. Now, have you had conversations or attempted, efforts to have partnerships even with the private sector? I'm saying this because, for example, if you are going to be running a poultry farming program, you don't need partners that maybe big, operations and plants in the private sector. There are people like your ShopRite, your KFC, if you are in a poultry farming operation, which can be partners that are later turned into possible your students being suppliers of those entities. ShopRite, I know there's a program like that where they, in agricultural sector, they lean into our SMMEs and small-scale farmers, and they have partnerships with them. They take whatever that is produced from that production and they are able to bring it into the market, and in that way there is some economic growth that happens and beneficiation becomes the local, and the local market is given growth, and there is move in terms of industry in that particular area. And I also need to command.
Thank you. It's okay. They will answer.
They will will answer.
Yeah, Honorable. No, others we will send them in writing. Honorable Msazan. Before, let's go. I did tell Honorable Seth that when you ask all the questions at the same time and they don't answer, you can't blame us. That's why we have ask a question, they answer. But Ariang, principal, department, chairperson, who's answering?
Chair, in terms of begging your indulgence on these ones, all of these are corporate service related questions. So I'm requesting, Chair, that because I've captured them, can we be allowed to have a written response to them?
Thank you.
So that we don't waste time.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. Very important questions have been asked, all of them. One of the questions I really would like to respond to is the question on the marketing strategy. And you are asking the question, who are we targeting? First of all, I think there's a room for improvement in our marketing strategy. I don't want to pretend that we are really on top of things there. The deputy minister, we had a strategic planning session of the department. The deputy minister was the first to say we need to rebrand the community colleges sector. And he's correct when he says we need to rebrand, because I remember telling the principal and my colleagues in council that I come from Bloemfontein. And whenever I'm home and I speak to people there about our community colleges, they say, what is that? Where is it located? And so on. And I get very embarrassed because I'm the chair of that institution. And I don't know, like I say, we still need to do a lot more in it, because I know for sure that the principal has been going on radio a lot, trying to talk about our college, but somehow our message is not coming through. I'm very pleased to say that the department made a commitment yesterday that they are going to set up a team of communicators who will work on a much more detailed strategy to sell or to market in your language our offerings as community colleges. And that is very important, because the other part of your question is very important. Who are we targeting? In terms of many policy documents we have had or that I've seen in the last 5 years, we always dedicate ourselves to target a category of young people called needs. Needs meaning people who are not in employment, people who are not in education, people who are not benefiting from any form of skills training. But also, I said, and I said it even yesterday, if you look at the results of basic education in particular, for a cohort of people that starts from grade 1, by the time the results are released for grade 12, you can be sure 30 to 40% have dropped out of the system. And that's the people we should be targeting. If you look at our illiteracy rate, the numbers that constitute our illiteracy rate as a country, that's the number we should be targeting. The number of unemployed people, that's the number of people we need to be targeting, because at least in the last 3 years that I'm aware of, we have always been challenged by, particularly by the former minister, to say, we can't be an academy. We were not meant to be an academic institution. We have universities for that. We need to diversify our programs and focus on skills programs that offer people an opportunity to be entrepreneurs. to earn a living without being formally employed like all other people and so on. So those are the people we should be targeting. I won't bluff you. I don't think we are doing enough. I think we can do better. And hopefully when we meet, I think we will be able to say something a lot better than we are saying now. Thanks.
Okay. Principal, is there anything you want to add? Chairperson of Council, you see, Minister of Basic Education and the DG of Basic Education will disagree with you on one of the statements that you just put, that you can be guaranteed that by the time these students finish matric, 40% of them would have dropped out. I used to serve in basic education, and I can tell you that statement is seriously not accurate, because the constitution of this country allows others to exit school in grade 9 to pursue Tibet education. But according to your expanded definition, that's dropout, and it's all, you call it dropout because you can't track them in matric. Many of them would have moved or would have failed or not progressed at a certain point. But you are not checking those numbers. You are checking those who enter grade 1 and those who exit grade 12. And you don't check whether they've progressed enough for them to move with the same group to the following grade. So that's why I say, maybe when we say certain things, let's be a little bit careful, because the statement that would have said 40% dropout is inaccurate. In fact, there was even a huge debate about those who reallocate. A father of this child, who was then promoted to the Western Cape as a senior police person, and when they relocated to the Western Cape from Krugersdorp, took out his 2 children from public schools, and because he could now afford to take them to private schools. Are you saying those kids are then dropped out? Because there's then that you are counting public schools. You're not you don't have the numbers of IEB, for an example. So, so I was just correcting you that when we make a statement, let's just be a little bit careful. On many other things we agree. Others, I think, will debate them some other time. Principal, is there anything you wanted to add?
Thank you, Chairperson. Yes, just the last part on Chiseho, that we engage in the private sector? Yes. When we conceptualized the idea, we worked with Ngetwane Local Municipality Business Forum and also the VKB, which is the biggest agricultural company in rates. But for now, because we are so they are part of coming up with this concept that we have been presenting to CETAs for funding. So when we start implementing those programs, then we'll go back to them to say, now we trained, place our students. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Mr.
No, thanks, Chairperson. And thank you to the principal and the college council chairperson for the presentations. I have really a few questions as well. Perhaps my first question is going to be directed to either the chairperson or the principal, relating to unqualified or underqualified lecturers. This was also echoed by the SRC, and well, the SRC spoke also about the shortage of qualified educators, or yeah, that's how he phrased it in his presentation. And I'm asking this question also intertwined with the intake for this particular academic year, where you have exceeded your enrollment targets with 6,173 more students. So if you are understaffed, especially as it relates to lecturers, how does this affect teaching and learning? The SRC also indicated that there's overcrowding in your venues, your teaching and learning venues. So this is part one question that speaks to a list around the same thing. So one is the fact that you have unqualified or underqualified educators or lecturers, and then how the overly enrollment affects teaching and learning. And you can even include what are the cost implications that come with the exceeded number of the intake of this current academic year. If you could just kindly start with those, please. Perhaps in your response, just keep in mind that the SRC claimed that the unqualified lecturers were inherited by yourselves during the transition, or will transition from basic to higher education and training.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. With regard to unqualified, underqualified lecturers, it is true. The Department of Higher Education and Training inherited those unqualified, underqualified lecturers from the Free State Department of Education as part of migration. So as the college, we have never appointed unqualified, underqualified. And unfortunately, in terms of labor relations, I'm not an expert there, but we were informed by the department that there is, they just have to migrate as they are. However, as the college, we really make a lot of applications to the CETAs to apply for them to at least get bursaries to improve their qualifications. We are even currently engaging the University of Free State. We have not yet signed an MOU, but we are working with the University of Free State to try and at least develop a qualification that will really help them to upgrade from where they are, because they are already on the system. So it's really a challenge which is also affecting, especially in grade 12, the poor performance. The issue of the target, the target that we got, we were guided by the department to use the baseline of 2022. So that is the target that we gave. But however, as the college, we will take as much as we can. So the financial implication is on the issue of LTSM and stationery, but we cannot return the students because these students really, they've got no place to go. They can't be at school, they can't be at universities, they are not employed, and they are not at TVET colleges. So the only available place is the CET college, and we're really taking them.
Okay, Principal, of course I'm not suggesting that you should reject students, but my concern was on the effects that has and cost implication that has for you to be able to carry out your mandate of teaching and learning or assisting these particular students. And obviously I would have hoped that the department will jump in to say, after having learned such, which is good for what we want to achieve, how is the department assisting you on those shortfalls? Because obviously you will incur a lot of cost and challenges, as you are saying. So that's what I wanted to understand, which I did not gather from your response. But I think you want to come in, Chairperson of Council, or you good?
No, Chairperson, through you. I must tell you that, Honorable Member, I value your question. And I value your question because you make me realize that we have been put in a situation where we have competing priorities that might contradict each other in the process of implementation. What do I mean by that? You know, community colleges for the last few years, maybe last 5 years, we've been driven by the fact that in the National Development Plan, there's a target that by 2030, community colleges must have attracted 1 million students. And every year when there are targets for annual performance plans from the department will always revise whatever we say to say, no, this is the target. By this year, increase the number of students and so on. But you are right. We have never had an opportunity where we can say, look, give us a chance to upgrade our lecturers first. Give us 2 to 3 years to upgrade our lecturers. And when we are ready, let us pursue this target. So we always find ourselves having to deal with this competing interest. And perhaps our fault is that we have never stopped to interrogate it ourselves. At least until this moment when we are bringing it to our attention. And thank you for that. I think you have given us a lot of food for thought.
Okay, thank you very much. I just have 2 questions and then I'm done. So the first question relates to the imbalance of 84% interns and 16% staff that is permanent. I want to first understand, who do you attribute that to? Is it attributed to the council or to the department, and what is being done about it? That's the first one. The second one speaks to a point in the presentation that speaks about the implementation of a standardization of pay and benefits, and then it speaks about numbers. But what is, I don't know, confusing for me is when you say there's a certain number, which is 131 of academic staff that work 3 hours a week, and then there's 758 that are working 5 hours a week. But what is key there is the standardization of pay and benefits. Does this mean that those that work 3 hours a week are going to be paid what the others that are working 5 hours a week? And how did you take others this side, or are those the underqualified ones and the others are qualified? I mean, if you could just break down this for me. And I think from my side, Chair, those will be my last, or yeah, the final 2 questions. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Yes, I think we raised that as a challenge. It is also the...
Hold on, President. We're not done with yourselves. Okay. You can continue, sorry, Principal.
This is one of the challenges that we are facing, that we said during the process of standardization of pay and benefits for our lecturers, there was something new that was introduced by the department, and we are unhappy about it. It's not done by us as the college. It is the corporate services, where it categorized the unemployed and say, this one, because they are underqualified, they cannot work for so many hours, and those who are qualified can work for this. So that was not determined by us as the college. It is the DHET. So I think the DHET corporate can respond. On this one of interns, the balance is our own initiative, because we only, like I said, 13 staff members permanent, and we don't even have budget to appoint council except this one employee. So the department, since they established CT colleges, they did not provide staff. So because we are overloaded, it is our own initiative to apply for interns from CETAs. So these interns are helping us to work and to perform some of the things that we are performing, because the department really did not give us the staff. So I would say the situation is as a result of lack of staffing or provision of permanent, sufficient staff at head office by the department. It's not the college's making. Thank you.
Honorable Kaka.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson. Chair, the reason why I asked for 5 minutes is because everything that is a problem about our meeting today is DHET's fault. And they are so nonchalant to not even grace us with their presence in a way that is of a component that will meet our satisfaction. The person who's supposed to be leading the delegation, and I say that because there are limitations to your power. And that's disrespectful, and it speaks to the relationship that exists with D-Head and the CET branch altogether. It's one of a lack of respect and a lack of commitment. And Chairperson, we must be able to then, in the next meeting, directly engage with the department, because there's a lot that they must account for, particularly because Principal Osebetsakatat. I'm listening here to Labour, to the SRC, and I realize even their complaints are complaints that emanate from D-Head's lack of responsiveness to the needs of the sector. And the fact that you're even able to perform the way you are performing, despite the lack of support that is necessary from the department, because hase kaofela di principal tse tsebang hore na di etse mosebetsing. Council chair ase kaofela di chairperson tse leng hore di a tseba hore na what relationship they're supposed to have with their principals. Equally, Labour and the SRC, I am sure if the department is able to fix its role, then you won't have anything to complain about. You'd be happy altogether. So it's a shame, and it's a disgrace, Chairperson, that this is the conversation that we're having. But I do have two questions that I want to engage you on, Principal. The first one has to do with the communication between the centers and the colleges. The center and the colleges altogether. What's that? Are you unable to meet, make phone calls, emails? Because I think that's a minor thing to have as a problem. Please, can you answer that?
Thank you, Honorable Member. We do have scheduled center managers meeting where we meet center managers sometimes quarterly, but this quarter we did not meet them. The last meeting was the one I've mentioned in December, and in January, February we met the 15th.
Pause because let's get 2 minutes.
Okay.
So clearly quarterly is not enough,
Yes.
as Labour is saying. Increase. You can't have a week that goes by, or at least 2 weeks that go by, without communication from the center to between colleges and the college and centers. That does not work. That's all, because if you are in communication dictates that you do so khafetsa to get the outcomes that you want. So just increase that. You don't always have to have a meeting. Sometimes you just correspond via email or telephone, and that's it. So please consider that, improving that in your work schedule. Number two, the payments to the hosting schools. What's the delay there?
Right, thank you. Yes, the emails, definite that we are communicating with them on a regular basis through email. We do have that type of information. And with regard to and we even have, now that they have data, we even have virtual meetings with them. With regard to the payment of hosting schools, we do pay hosting schools. However, we do have a challenge with the payment for hosting. The payment of hosting, we must wait for the verified student data, because we pay them according to the verified number of students. So
And the verification is done by Mang D-Head.
yes.
Okay, so you're unable to pay hosting schools on time because D-Head is not giving you the information necessary to pay.
The verification is, like for example, the 2024 data is still not yet verified. So we'll pay as soon as DHET has verified the data.
Okay,
But for
30 seconds, saying benefits of workers. Are there any benefits that they are your responsibility particularly, and not that of the department? Or are they all the department's responsibility?
The payment that we do is the payment of SNT, of traveling that we do at the college. The rest is the responsibility of DHET.
Labour SNT afil. SNT lafil. So the only problems that you have to do with the again, Chairperson. But department ha ihlompe batho. Le rona ya re tella. Matsatsi a mabedi ke la baragolana ntse re hahlaula ka ga province kaofela ga edimo le tlase re dipapatlele every day bona ba sitwa ko go ba tlo bua ka tabe bohlokwa with the CET e sebetsang ka matla ha kana ka thata kana molemong wa bana ba tella ene ke kopa ba tsebisa hore re le committee re ba tella ba re nyatsa. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please.
I just want to agree with what she's saying. I can't hear her. I can't hear what she's saying, but I agree.
No, give us honorable please.
Chairperson, there was a guy named Pontius Pilate. He was in a dilemma because he looks at Jesus and he sees Jesus is innocent, but he is under pressure by the crowds and politics. And so he decides he's going to take someone who is a hardened criminal, who steals, and he puts them in front of the crowd and he asks the crowd, who do you choose? Jesus or Barnabas? The crowd, knowing this is the guy who steals from us, they look at Jesus and they scream, crucify him. It is my third day or so, I don't know how many days now we've been on Oversight. I've met Barnabas so many times. And for the first time, I feel like I'm seeing people who is committed to saving what we have. I'm at the risk of saying I'm looking at Jesus, because maybe it's time to realize that Jesus doesn't have blue eyes and a white skin. But when I look at you, I feel hope. Because for the first time, student representatives come, labor comes, and you're not perfect, but you're definitely not Barnabas. And we are in the position of Pilate here. Are we going to, as the committee, because we know it's the department that is screaming, crucify you, but I see how they are giving money and others to Barnabas. It is us here who's either going to say, we see it, but we wash our hands, or we are going to take you off your cross. So in my 5 minutes, I want to say thank you. Thank you for doing what you do with little budget. You've got one council, one member of the council that you can pay. Chairperson, you stood there. You made an analogy that every time you meet the committee, it rains. And that speaks of blessing. I want you to know the seeds you have sown, that rain is watering those seeds. Your season of harvest is coming. And whatever I can do in this committee to ensure that we don't wash our hands and we stand behind you, I'm going to do. But I've been working with these members, my colleagues. They are equally committed. And so I wish you well, and I say thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Amen. The colleagues from the department, maybe sometimes we forget why we have certain programs. And maybe it's our responsibility to try and remind each other. of why we have certain programs. If you can try there at the door, if you can try and get me the president of the SRC of Goldfields, please. There's something I wanted to confirm first. But the reason why we have a CT, representatives from the department, is because when Status A releases quarterly labor stats, they will tell you about how many people we have who are unemployed. They don't stop there. They tell you about how many of those who are unemployed have got which category of education. They don't stop there. They tell you, they give you two definitions of unemployed. They give you what they call the real stats of those who are actively looking for employment but are unemployed. And then they give you what they call the expanded explanation, which include those who are discouraged from seeking employment. When you look at those numbers, more than 80% on the expanded explanation of those who are unemployed have got no matric or a matric and less qualification. More than 80% of those who are unemployed, their highest level of qualification will be matric or less. They go further and say those with some TVET college qualification, those who are unemployed are around 23%. They go further and say those with some university qualification, those who are unemployed are around 9.7%. What does this mean? It means there is a direct correlation between the qualifications or the skills you have with being employed. That's what it says. The more you are educated, the highly likely you are going to find employment. The less education, the less likely you are going to get education. What does government do? It says because we have this high number of people who are unemployed, who do not have matric or they have matric and less, we will have a program called community education and training. To do what? To get this cohort that does not have matric or any other skill to have that particular thing and deal with the high level of those who are unemployed. So that is why, colleagues, you in the department, you are working in a branch of the Department of Higher Education and Training called CET branch. What are you supposed to do? You are supposed to support these branches, the 9 provincial branches that you have. You are supposed to support these 9 provincial branches to execute this mandate that you have as government. The problem with our people who work in these offices, they don't see themselves as government. And section 27 or 29 MMP, that says it's the responsibility of government make sure that its people are able to access education. they don't see themselves as government. They see themselves as people who work for government. And that is where the problem is. It's your responsibility, colleagues, to make sure that we are able to assist, to do our job, and make sure that this cohort of people who have matric or less, were able, or who don't have matric, were able to get them to that level so that they're able to access TVET education and university education. But if you know, when you listen to you colleagues, it's as if you've got a different understanding of why we have CET College. I mean, just one thing. Department, why are you not, people, you've got funded posts. Workers, students, your own principals in all provinces, they tell you, hey, we're understaffed. Hey, we've got this and that. You return money to Treasury. The Treasury gave you funded posts, but Mamudim. They funded posts. And that is why I was asking you, or are you sure? Am I hearing you correct? Because I know last year, on the 31st of March, when the financial year closed, we had returned a total, it was for 2 financial years, 580 million on funded posts. About 380 for, 360 for 22-23, and around 160 for 23-24. Funded posts. The excuses that you colleagues want to give us, hey, we must speak to, hey, concurrence, DPSA stories. We don't have literature in our schools. You are here, you want to tell us stories. Go write books for children. Because you are making a mockery of the system. We don't have enough people who write literature. When you think you can come here and joke, tell us stories. So I agree, Honorable Khachau, that we must have a session with the department properly, because you know, the people that, and I always, you know, when I make a case, Honorable Masek, when I say, I don't believe that when we hire people, the way we're hiring people is the correct way. Because we simply say, we want academic qualification. We say, you must have this, you must have experience of 3 years, 5 years. I don't believe that thing works. I always make a point that if we are to hire people to work in critical posts of government like this, we must introduce extra level of requirement. One of them should be the ethical behavior of these people. Because if, for an example, Bato, you return money that you are supposed to fill a post for, and there's a child somewhere who could not access education, how is that ethical? What are these people who must charge them? So we must, for me, I believe we have to introduce certain, I don't know how to put it. NSFAS, I saw that NSFAS was saying they saved 4 billion. NSFAS bank these days, you save 4 billion. When students did not go to university, when the social impact of that decision meant somebody had to take a bus back from University of Johannesburg, Wits University, UCT, take a bus back to Limpopo, to Kofimvaba, to Mhlabia. You want to tell me that, no, man, save 4 billion, we have reserves. Reserves for in. So when we say, colleagues, we must find a way of changing the requirements for people to occupy these positions. Because they don't understand the social impact of a decision or non-decision that they are taking. So yeah, we must have that meeting with the department. Mampi. On the 20th of November last year, this committee interacted with two universities, University of Limpopo and Fort Hare, on a decision by University of Limpopo to withdraw master's qualifications of two young females. And we tell them, you are going to lose that case. Yesterday, the High Court ruled in favor of these two young girls with costs, huge costs of senior counsels. I think they said grade B of senior counsels. They will pay it, it's not their money. But what is the social impact of that decision of this university of delaying these young children 2 years? Who's going to pay for that? Who must pay? What are these two young girls would have graduated Mampi in 2023. It's 2025. The court says, no, you, university, Mona Nelunolejwala. Right? So, but what can these two young, how do they get back their 2 years? That was clearly stolen from them. When we talk about the social impact of you going to work, drawing a salary from the state, and not doing what you are supposed to do. Because, I mean, Principal, thanks very much. You see, I don't know, there's about 8 or 9 pages of partnerships, proper partnerships. We went to this municipality, what we were telling Mampi, Tshwane North and Tshwane South, when we were in Gauteng. Go to a municipality, say, municipality, let's be in partnership. You've got this land that we are not using, that we can use, and you can draw tax rates and taxes, water and lights from us once we have built this thing. Or you can keep it and not, and tomorrow you'll have people who, there's this political party that tells people to occupy everything. They will go there and occupy. No, it's not you this time. It's these ones who were red. Huh? It's so they are saying they went to a municipality. Municipality gave them this land. They went to this company built this. This is what, when we say acting regional manager, our institution lack leadership. Because there's no way you can tell me that here, including CUT, we had CUT yesterday, here in Welkom, there's no accredited student accommodation. There's plenty of land that is owned by the municipality, and the municipality is not drawing anything from it. Leadership. We don't have student accommodation. You have land, plenty of it, that is owned by the municipality. You don't go to the municipality and say, let's have partnerships. You go to Goldfields and say, Goldfields, in order for me to produce this gold refinery people that you need, so that we don't export raw material of gold from here, helicopter is Johannesburg, then from Johannesburg is America or London. We want to have a refinery here. In order for us to do it, I will need to have this. I've got these skills. We call it the skills of specialization. I don't know what you call it, your third campus. But I need to have accommodation so that I can house the students here. Give me this, Maspala will give me this venue. I want you to help me build 100 beds. You are not doing that. All we are hearing from you is that, hey, we don't have accommodation. Hey, the department is not funding. CET, 10 years old. Only 10 years old. You saw the 9 pages of proper partnerships with a number of sitters, private companies, municipalities. They are working. TVT, I don't know how old it is. We don't have those things. Leadership. You see, you aren't able to get proper leaders to lead these institutions because we're not robatla masters. Or Dr. Aaron said he want PhD. I don't know, one PhD. Huh? Leadership. I think we will not win the department, the battle of getting the right perception on our CETs if we don't accept that. Not releasing the results and certificating these ones. I mean, the results are November, but okay, let me tell you. When these students go and do rewrite, some of them, they did us, but they upgraded because there's a course that they wanted to enter at a certain institution. They can't get it. They write in November. It's March. You have not released those. So could I understand the social impact again of being casual about not releasing the results? They are not, they are more dealer the numbers. You see how you are looking at it. You are looking at it from a numbers point of view. You are not looking at it from a person point of view. If you can just remove the curtain, you will see there are people on the other side. And you will see the impact of you not doing your job. Some of them, not all of us have got the same mental strength. Some of them committed suicide. When you wake up in the morning, you don't care, it's a number. Oh, mustn't believe. So that is what we're going to do. So we're going to have that session with the department. Because our sector has got a lot of people who are committed from all branches. But we also have got a lot of people who are not committed. Press a reset button. Start afresh. Acting regional manager. You have people acting for, the principal earlier on, I had to correct him. He said you are the regional manager. I had to correct him and said I am acting. Why? Because he probably forgot that you are acting. Even element is not filling the post. Rekutlisetsa chelete ko building. It's agriculture or what. Department has returned 100 million back. Go Derko. Arana chelete of it's a building. We don't have money in the same sector to finish that big, nice building. Looks, I hope, good chairperson 60-70%. I hope it looks like what we've seen there. Because it's beautiful. It will inspire. In fact, we are going to be the first CET to hold such a beautiful thing. And if we can't support it, what are we doing? Department is saying 200 million back to Derko. They took 200 million somewhere. Huh? To invest this. Yeah. Total 300 million. Back to. No. Department, you are really making a making a mockery of our system. President of the SRC at Goldfields, we had given you an opportunity to work around with NSFAS. Where is the mic? Can somebody give a mic there? If you can brief us, how did you guys conclude? What is the way forward? Are our issues resolved? And all of that. So please take us through. Oh, Chairperson, the Ginana Maigo Gamona. Canton so pocotet.
Honorable Chair, thank you very much. Our discussion with NSFAS was very fruitful, and we are very thankful for the opportunity. What we discovered as the SRC is the fact that we are very quick to jump to say it's NSFAS, but we forget that we have NSFAS officials within our college that need to take accountability. So we shoot straight to NSFAS. So we recognize that we need to go back to the NSFAS officials within our campuses so that they take accountability to the delays of our students getting paid and other matters that I raised. So in other conclusions, for them to give us proper ways of going forward is that we agreed upon having a list that will be conducted. One is already being conducted. We are just short with only this campus with that list so that we send it as one document to NSFAS so that they can give us all proper answers as to why are our students not being paid and what are the delays. Then we discovered other issues of the matters that lies with the students not being able to read properly the instructions of the website of NSFAS. So now we go back to saying that we want to blame NSFAS, but when we gave them the ID numbers of the students that are struggling, we noticed that it's our own students that are not reading properly the instructions and are not following through to what should be done to get funded. Majority of our campus are the ones that need to take accountability. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, President. Where did this meeting take place?
Meeting was in the SRC of other SRC members.
All right, thank you very much, President. Thank you very much, FAS. When we make a point, NSFAS, that you are always blamed for everything, including when institutions don't send registration data to you. It's easier. Sometimes you are blamed even after you have given the institutions money. But it's your fault because NSFAS, every time I see NSFAS on news, is when they must go and defend. You never see NSFAS initiating discussion about what is it that they've done, X, Y, and Z. So it's your fault. And we've told the previous administrator, can we improve on this thing? Now, in April, when we come back from recess, we're going to meet with the board. We're going to tell them, board, we don't want to open our TV and T2 students at TVET colleges are complaining that your system is not working. We want to open our TVs and we hear you say, I've opened applications on Monday, it's Wednesday today, I've already provisionally funded 10,000. You going on, speaking about the good that you're doing. We're not your spokespersons. NSFAS in this country has produced over 5.5 million graduates, university graduates. More, way more than the apartheid government produced about 60 years. They probably don't even know, they themselves. So you are not talking about the good that you have. Do you know how many people accessed higher education who would not have seen it if NSFAS was not there? We've probably funded more than 11 million people, and we have 5.5 million graduates. On a political party created 11 million votes last year. Well, this is, I'm trying to show you how big NSFAS has done. The whole country, almost 16 million, 17 million people who voted. NSFAS has probably funded about 17 million people. Mara, they can speak, but Chile, it flew. So, colleagues, we want to thank you for a long day. We've already spoken about what must happen with the goldfields, the stakeholder management there. We don't want problems where workers tomorrow, I know sometimes, and you guys are creative. Sometimes, you remember out of the two people who presented, one of them has been charged for something that we were told happened in 2019. Don't do it, Ralakopa. Assembly. Don't behave like these ones who used to take degrees of students. Please. So let's work on that particular. Let's work on relationship with where we are. You've got my name, Beatrix. Yeah, I've got my name, Beatrix. And I show social responsibility, CSI. What is that? You have not went there. They can't even build you one classroom. They can't build you a workshop because you are not asking. You've got municipality, the district and local, which probably has proper land next to where you are. If proper discussions are happening, we could be getting those things back. Arlemo meeting principal, Warobana. It's tough. We've got bigger bills, colleagues. We've got so many people who are not in employment, education, and training. Who needs us? This department is government. You produce knowledge. You are a knowledge production of the country. You are supposed to produce people who are going to participate in the mainstream economy. You are supposed to produce small business people, the core drivers of any thriving economy in the world. Marona Rajoka. So please, leadership, that Michelle, hire your principal. Oh, they. Oh, but let's go and do things. Department, I got to go next. CET. It's a lampel. You see, only fella Bible, or don't be a barbanas. Yeah. Yeah. Be this one, Jesus. So continue doing what what we must. Tomorrow, we are in Putadichaba. We're interacting with a Tibet college there called Maluda Pufu. And on Friday, we're closing with Flavors Mareka, who would have crisscrossed all or interacted with all institutions, not all campuses, but all institutions of higher learning in the Free State. So I want to thank you all, colleagues, presidents, secretary generals of the SRCs from both CET and Colfe.